Guys, there's no better way to use up your leftovers from your roast. Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're going to make Bubble and Squeak. An absolutely classic British dish dating way back to the 1800s. But you know, when I was growing up as a lad, I used to watch my grandma make it for my grandfather, you know. Sunday roast leftovers, Monday morning, Bubble and Squeak with bacon and a fried egg on top. He used to have a dollop of Colman's mustard. We're not going to do the mustard, but that's up to you. Let's show you how to make Bubble and Squeak. Now guys, I like onions in mine, so I'm going to put a little bit of oil in a pan. And I've just chopped some onions. And what we'll do is we'll just put our onions in there. We just need to cook off these onions a little bit in there, guys, and then we'll mix up our Bubble and Squeak. Now guys, it doesn't matter if you get a little bit of colour on your onions. It doesn't matter at all. All we're trying to do is just cook out a little bit of that rawness, you know. Now if they go translucent, that's fantastic. If they've got a little bit of colour on like this, so be it. It's going to be fried in our mixture anyway. We just do not want a lot of raw onion in our Bubble and Squeak. Right, there you go guys, onion done. Turn off, take off the heat and let it cool down. Okay guys, to make Bubble and Squeak, we've got some cold mashed potato there. There's something in it. We got some cold mashed potato there, and we got some cold cabbage. Okay, so add our cabbage to our mashed potato, like that. Easy as that. We're going to give this a pinch of salt, a decent amount of pinch of salt, because you know and I know there's not much in a boiled cabbage that's cold. And we're going to give it a pinch of black pepper. Now you can add any seasoning you want actually, but this is the basic, you know. So once you've got the basic in there, we need to mix all this potato and cabbage together to form like a tortilla patty really. So get it all in there, mix it all in, make sure it's all fully incorporated. Now like I say, you can add any veg you want. If you had carrots or if you had stuffing left over, anything, you can get it all in there, you know, not a problem. So I'll mix it in there, and then what we need to do, we need to add our onions. So get our onions in there. Now the onions are a little bit warm, but that doesn't matter. So get that in there, give it a good mix through. Now the onion's going to give it a little bit of flavour in there, but you know, if you've got any stuffing left over, sage and onion stuffing, chestnut stuffing, sausage stuffing, anything like that, fantastic mixed in here. It gives it that nice little bit of a flavour through there. Superb. So there we go. That's our cabbage, potato, onion, salt and pepper mixed up. Absolutely fantastic. Okay guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fry off some bacon ends. And we're going to fry these crispy, but what we're going to do is reserve the fat from the bacon. And then what we can do, we can put the crispy ends of the bacon on top of our Bubble and Squeak. Exploding bacon. Woo. Alright, there we go guys, I think that's exploded enough. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually take this bacon out of here and we're going to put it in, a little tub to sprinkle over our Bubble and Squeak. Right guys, we got this nice little bacon fat going on in here, look. What we need to do is add a little bit of butter and a bit of oil. So we'll put that much butter in. And we'll add a little bit of oil, so we don't want the butter to burn. Hit the flame back on. Not too high this time. We just need to melt that butter in there, and then we turn it down, and we need to slow down the cooking on this. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add our potato mixture straight in the pan. Not a problem. Squash it down a little bit. Now don't get burnt, obviously. And we need to cook this really, really slow. And I mean really, really slow. So basically what we're doing, we're frying off one side. It's a bit like a tortilla, guys. We're going to fry off one side nice and slow. You know, all that butter and oil on there, which is going to give us that flavour all over that. Now, what you can do, once you start frying it like this, I mean, you can turn it and you can see, and then you can squash it back in. Don't worry about that. All we're going to do is make a bubble and squeak patty or tortilla in the pan. Quite a large one actually. So nice and steady then. Just cook it in there. Give it a little bit of shape on there as we're cooking. Because what we're going to do, we're going to turn this out onto a plate and we're going to put it back in again. Right guys, what you can do now, you can actually turn this if you want, look. It's starting to, look, let's turn this over. You can see it's starting to cook on that side. Okay, it's starting to brown. But the best way to do this is now to turn it back in itself, mash it up. Put that little bit of cooked potato and cabbage that started to brown back in there. You know, turn it over. Put it back in there, squash it down and cook it some more. Now what's happening is, by doing it this way, you're actually cooking out the moisture that's in here from the potatoes and the cabbage. So you can do this a couple of times and then you will end up with a nice dryish but still moist bubble and squeak tortilla. Oh, I can smell that cooking under there, guys. I can smell that cooking. Let's just stir that back in. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. So what we're doing, we're actually putting that little bit of cooking flavour back into our potato mixture. And because we're cooking it really slow, as you can see, look, this is not burning in any way whatsoever. So you're in complete control of this, you know. If you want to cook it darker, you cook it darker, up to you. But all we need to do is slowly cook some of the moisture out and get a little bit of colour on there, and by stirring it back in we get that little bit of cooked colour inside. This is a simple, really tasty bubble and squeak. Right guys, what we're going to do, we're going to take a plate, we're going to flip our bubble and squeak tortilla, and we're now going to put that back in the pan. But what we're going to do, we're going to add just a little knob of butter. Just get that around your pan before putting your bubble and squeak back in. And that's going to give us that little buttery flavour on the other side. And then all we're going to do is slide our Bubble and Squeak back in the pan. Now this time we are going to go a little bit low and slow as we did to start off with. We'll just give this a little bit of a squash down. Nice and low and slow, and this is the final cook. So keep that going nice and slow. Okay guys, flame off. That's our Bubble and Squeak made. All we're going to do guys is put our plate back on there, turn our pan over. That is our Bubble and Squeak made. Right guys, for our Bubble and Squeak we need to take some of that crispy burnt bacon that we did and put that all over the top. Oh, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. A little bit more butter in there. A little bit more butter in the pan. A touch of oil. Not much. Little swirl round. And what we want to do is go in with a little bit more of our horrible bacon. Get our bacon in there. Okay, that's our bacon done. I want our bacon out of there because this stuff tends to keep cooking and cooking and cooking until it goes black and crunchy. So we'll take that out of there. And then what we need to do guys, we need to crack a couple of eggs. Now we want to cook these eggs soft guys, so we're going to take a little bit of that oil, and there's not much in this pan to be quite fair, and we're just going to dab a little bit on our yolk. Now what I'm trying to achieve, I'm trying to achieve a crispy bottom and a really soft runny cooked egg. I just think it all goes together, you know. You get that really crispy bottom and you get that soft runny egg when it runs all over your Bubble and Squeak. Oh, there we go. Think that's about done it. Job done. Bubble and Squeak. A little bit of this egg. A little bit of everything actually. Guys, there's no better way to use up your leftovers from your roast. Amazing. Now if you like what we're doing guys, it would be fantastic if you'd like to subscribe. Till next time, keep safe.